What is up, everybody? Jay Nell here with my UFC Fight Night in Sao Paulo, Brazil recap video. It happened last night. Another great event from Brazil. Like I told you, please watch the Brazilian cards. They always step up in Brazil for some reason. I got 500 because I got two right, two wrong, and a draw. So 500. Let's get into it. The main event there. The first fight draw. I chose Ronda Marcos to beat Marina Rodriguez. I'm so sorry. I just got tongue-tied there. And she did not. This was a majority draw, I believe. She was able to win the first round. And this is my complaints that I had about Ronda Marcos. She's so inconsistent. She always manages to win about half the fight. And then the rest is kind of left up to the judges. Well, she won the first round. She was able to take her down with some serious ground and pound. Marina was able to get through it. She was able to stay off the takedown for the next two rounds. And she's a much longer fighter. She was able to get some jabs, some nice punches, some cleaner shots from distance, keep her in space, and keep it standing. So it was a majority, I believe, draw. So who would you like to see both fighters fight next? This was Marina's debut in the UFC in Brazil. She's Brazilian, so that's pretty good job for your first fight in the UFC, your debut. Now, next up, I did not get this pick. I chose Renan Barão to beat Andre Ewell. This was his debut in the UFC. He won a split decision victory. Renan Barão was able to take him down, some serious ground and pound the first round, and then Andre, being the longer fighter, was able to keep it standing basically for the second and third, and being the longer fighter with his jab, was able to land the cleaner shots and point his way to a split decision victory against Renan Barão in his debut in enemy territory. Good great debut for Andre Ewell. Who would you like to see him fight next? Now, next up, I did not get this pick either. I took a risk on Mr. Smiling Sam Alvey against the living legend of Antonio Rogério Nogueira, Mr. Lil Nog, and that risk did not pay off. Lil Nog still got something in the tank at 42 years old, especially in Brazil. I actually do not remember how the first round went. And I haven't had a chance to watch this event twice. You know, I usually watch them at least twice. Have not been able to watch it twice, and I can't remember the first event. I must have been talking because I was watching it with people. But the second round, though, I remember the finish. They're trading. It seemed like Sam was a bit more confident in that second round and was more willing to engage when it wasn't as smart with it. He needed to be extremely smart with his stand-up game against Rogério, who I think is a more experienced striker. As again, Lil Nog is a stand-up fighter first. So got into a kind of a wild exchange. Lil Nog was able to clock him one, knock him against the cage, and then he teed off on him. He clocked him, I believe it was with a short left, which his legs gave out from underneath him. His head kind of slumped. Then he took a couple more shots, and I believe it woke him back up. So I think we were looking at a flash knockout. Either way, his body went limp. Even if it was for a split second, his body did go limp. The ref stopped the fight, and he immediately grabbed Lil Nog's leg and was taking him down through instinct, I believe. Some people are protesting this stoppage, saying that it was an early stoppage, but his body did go limp. The legs did go without. The head was slumped, and he was stunned, not moving, not protecting his face, getting clocked for a couple of seconds afterwards. You have to watch it again. He was stunned. You got to go with the stoppage there. I'm okay with the stoppage. Again, we get mad when it's early, but we're furious when it's late. Got to go with the stoppage there. I agree with the decision. Little Nog said he still wants to fight. So who do you think should be next for Mr. Antonio Rogério Nogueira, Little Nog? All right, co-main event, I got this pick. I chose Alex Cowboy Oliveira to beat Carlo Pedersoli, and he did in like the first 40 seconds in the first round. They were going at it, traded some shots, some space. Carlo went for a kick. Alex basically caught the kick, and with those long arms, he came up with this wild shot that clocked him clean to the face. Bow, knocked Carl to the ground, and then it was ground and pound until he landed some clean shots, which might have even, again, another flash knockout, knocked him out and then knocked him back into consciousness because his body at one point also went limp on the ground. Great stoppage from the ref in the first round. Great win for Mr. Alex Cowboy Oliveira, and of course he had his patented salsa and out, or whatever, you know, the dancing. It's not salsa, but his patented Latin dancing out to the ring, which is so amazing to see. And he's getting better. He is getting better. He's getting smarter. He's able to manage his cardio. He is getting better. He's still only 30 years old. So who would you like to see next for Mr. Cowboy Oliveira? Now, main event, and I got this pick too. If you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I do all my little last minute updates, you will see that I still chose Thiago Santos against the last minute replacement of Eryk Anders. And I got this pick. I believe this ended in between the fourth and fifth round. I don't think it was the third and fifth. I believe it was in between the fourth and fifth. Someone correct me if I'm wrong there. This one fight of the night, they were going back and forth. This was at a higher weight class. This was in the light heavyweight division, even though Thiago is a middleweight. Eryk Anders, I am told, is moving up to light heavyweight. So this took place in the light heavyweight division. Of course, he was supposed to be against Jimmy Manuwa. He had to pull out. They were going back and forth. They were going back and forth. And the big glaring thing that I have to say, Thiago, is you got out of this one by the skin of your teeth. Stay your ass in the middleweight division. I say it again. Stay your ass in the middleweight division. Dominic Cruz, I think, said it best. Your size advantage and your just natural, God-given power advantage helps you cope with the wrestling of the smaller men, the less powerful men in the middleweight division. What we saw here with Eryk Anders, who is moving up, who is a bigger fighter, who is basically the same size as Thiago, if not a little bit bigger, his size and his power was not enough to stay off the takedowns, even though he was winning the stand-up game. This fight went where Thiago would land some shots standing, a nice little flurry, knock him back up against the cage, and then Eryk's instincts would come back in, and he would go for the takedown, and then he would take him down. He would take him down. He would have some ground and pound. Thiago would work very hard to get back up. He would eventually get back up, land some nice shots standing, create another flurry, and then back and forth like that. Somewhere in between, I believe it was the end of the second and third round, Thiago looked tired. I was very, very worried. Both men looked tired, but with Eryk having that wrestling base and Thiago not able to stay off the takedown, I was like, he's about to lose this fight. Not quite. So, I believe it was the fourth round. He again landed some shots standing, created a flurry. Eryk Anders' instincts goes in. He goes for the takedown. Now he has Thiago's back up against the cage. He has both hands around his waist with his head in between Thiago's legs. Okay, Thiago is still landing shots. He's landing elbows to the side of the head. He's also going up underneath, landing punches to his face. They drop down. To Thiago's on his knees. Eryk Anders' head is basically still in between his legs, and he's landing elbows to the side of the head. Eryk Anders is literally just wilting with his head in between Thiago's legs until the end of the round. Buzzer sounds. End of the round. Eryk goes to stand. No, he does not go to stand. Excuse me. He does not go to stand. He simply turns over and falls in between the ref's legs. His corner comes out, tries to pick him up. He falls again. They pick him up. He falls again. He's done. Not a breath of energy left in his body. Spent. He gave it all. Could not stand, could not crawl, definitely could not make it to the next round. The ref had to call this fight. He gave it all. And kudos to Eryk Anders, taking this fight short notice. When you just fought, I believe it was last month, and it wasn't no clean victory either. He won with that amazing head kick, which came, I believe, in the second round. But the first round was very competitive, actually. And some would say that the other guy won the first round. So it's not like he came into this fight clean, short notice, after going through an actual fight last month. So kudos to you for lasting as long as you did and literally giving every last bit you had. Amazing. It's rare when you see something like that. It's a beautiful thing in a way. Thank you for that. Who would you like to see both men fight next? Eryk Anders, who's now going to move up to the light heavyweight division, and Thiago Santos, who needs to stay his ass in the middleweight division. Who would you like to see them fight next? Tell me how you did on all your picks. Any injury updates? We had the other Oliveira have a break the submission victory record in the prelims there. This was a really good card. Prelims, main event, the whole nine. So let me know how you did on your picks, any injury updates. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where I will have 15-second recaps and updates and last-minute updates and things. You got to follow that. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat. Subscribe, like, talk to me. Take care, and goodbye.